Olympic champion.
So how long does that fight last?
Listen, my opinion, it's 1 round.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
What do you make of that?
Anthony by murder.
By murder?
Yes.
Golly.
Might knock his head off a little bit. Like, it might be special effect, but it might like go out.
Like legit?
Boxing legends deliver their takes on the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua clash. Usyk is adamant the fight won't survive the opening round, drawing from his 2 grueling meetings with Joshua to underline how devastating Joshua's power truly is. He believes the matchup is driven more by money than sporting value. According to Usyk, Joshua needs only a brief window to expose the enormous gap in physical force. In his view, this isn't a competitive contest. It's a short, dangerous scenario where Jake walks into a realm.
Complaining about AJ taking that fight. Obviously, it's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Do you see something wrong with AJ taking that fight?
This is just a lot of money, it's just a show.
Right.
This is not interesting sport because, guys, brothers, Anthony, it's Olympic champion.
Right.
Jake, it's just sportsman, yeah, YouTuber. Jake do a lot of work, special coach, special food, a lot of exercise, new.
Yes.
But this is guy don't have a mother fights,
Right.
never
Right.
a mother fights. Maybe them wrestling now professional, but Joshua, Anthony Joshua, it's Olympic champion.
So how long does that fight last?
Listen, my opinion, it's 1 round. Because Anthony, twice, my fight twice. Jab,
Very hard.
yeah, look, you know, this is.
And still from
Tyson Fury provides the most unexpected prediction of the entire debate. He boldly states that Jake Paul will knock out Anthony Joshua, a claim that stuns fans and analysts alike. Fury argues that Jake is filling out physically, training heavier, and steadily becoming more durable. He believes momentum can override veteran experience and insists Jake's rise, belief, and consistency shouldn't be taken lightly. Fury admits he enjoys surprising statements, but maintains this one is sincere. His stance remains controversial, yet it carries weight coming from a world champion who knows the division intimately.
What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look.
Teddy Atlas assesses the matchup with his trademark strategic approach. He acknowledges Joshua's overwhelming physical edge, but notes that Jake Paul isn't entering the ring empty-handed. Atlas highlights Jake's youth, quicker recovery, and willingness to take chances older fighters won't. He points to Jake's improved footwork as a factor that could create tricky moments for Joshua if overlooked. While Joshua brings size, history, and elite pedigree, Jake has enough strengths to warrant respect. Atlas doesn't predict an upset, but he stresses that Jake's hunger and mental sharpness create small openings that shouldn't be dismissed.
Oh, we look at all the advantages that Joshua has. Let's look at how I look at where maybe Paul has some advantages. He's younger. His feet are a little faster. I know he's not at that level of a fighter, I get it, but his feet are faster. Joshua's feet are not that fast, closing gaps, getting to somebody. To hit him, even if you're better than him, you still got to get to him to hit him. Also, Joshua, last time he fought was over a year. He hasn't fought. He was basically retired. Where's his mind at? He got knocked out terribly by Dubois. Where's his confidence? Where's his mindset? Where is he? Is he taking this fight the way that fans are, overlooking Paul, taking him for granted? Yeah, it probably is. Might be. Does that weigh in? Yeah, that weighs in. People don't look at those parts of it. And the weight. Paul's smart. He always puts clauses in there. I know this is the first time he's fighting a guy who's bigger than him and all that stuff, but he put in a 245-pound weight, clause where he can't come in over 245. What is Joshua weighing? He was off over a year. He was basically retired. Was he 280? Was he 290? Was he 275? Easily could be the case. He didn't have a lot of time now to get to 245. How does that affect him? Oh, we forgot about that. It's a little thing, but it's not that little. It's a thing that Paul put there for a reason. Again, Paul hasn't made too many mistakes. He's been pretty damn smart. I'm not saying he's the fighter that Joshua is, but I don't know if Joshua's the fighter that
Chris Algieri examines the matchup through the lens of Joshua's ring tendencies. He notes that Joshua consistently adjusts his style based on the threat level. Against elite competitors, he is cautious and calculated, but against smaller or less seasoned fighters, he produces dominant, efficient performances. Algieri believes this pattern fits Jake Paul perfectly. He expects Joshua to stay composed but finish decisively once he chooses to press forward. To Algieri, Joshua's reliability makes the outcome clear. He handles mismatches with precision, and this fight should follow that pattern. Lamont Roach offers a balanced yet cautious perspective. He sees the matchup as fundamentally uneven because Joshua's raw power and seasoned experience pose a danger Jake Paul.
Excuse me. My first thoughts was this guy's crazy. Not gonna lie. But I get it. Coming from a guy who's not a true traditional boxer, and to be able to have a position where he can fight a former unified world champion, former Olympic gold medalist, and to do it on such a stage where Anthony Joshua is a superstar as well. I mean, like, he sold out the O2, twice.
Absolutely.
I think. So, I think Jake is setting himself up for, a huge spectacle, and which is, kind of smart. If you're going to go big, why not go to the highest of the mountain? Why not? And I get it. That's what you call business right there. And I've seen a lot of guys calling them out, from like Gabe to, other guys who are boxers. Yeah, like guys who actually beat him. But why would he settle for those guys when he could fight Anthony Joshua? So I think that's, I think that's smart. I think that's super smart.
Smart is one thing. What do you think happens in the ring, though, champ?
I think he gets hurt, for sure. I think he gets obliterated. Something close to like Francis Ngannou. I think something like that happens, and it's going to be bad for him. But there will be a lot of.
Lamont Roach offers a balanced yet cautious perspective. He sees the matchup as fundamentally uneven because Joshua's raw power and seasoned experience pose a danger Jake Paul has never been tested against. Roach emphasizes that Joshua doesn't need full aggression for the situation to turn severe. A single committed strike from a heavyweight of Joshua's level could end the night instantly. He stresses that Jake cannot safely absorb that kind of force, and the physical disparity alone places him in genuine jeopardy.
Just a couple more things before I let you go. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, your thoughts on this fight? And Mega One?
Yeah, huge respect to Jake. I mean, we all know what should happen on paper, but it's boxing. So huge respect to Jake. I have nothing but...
Andrew Tate keeps his view direct. He believes Jake Paul has stepped into a monumental challenge and deserves respect for accepting it. Tate acknowledges that very few, fighter or not, would willingly face someone as formidable as Anthony Joshua. To him, the outcome is secondary to the ambition. Jake is pushing himself into territory most would never attempt, and Tate sees that bravery as worthy of recognition on its own.
Thank you, Sean. And now that's now my phrase. I'm going to steal that from you from this moment. I'm going to use it going forward because I didn't know how to describe my feeling about this fight, but I just got it. I'm glad I thought of it right after I read Sean O'Malley said it. Sean went on to say, there's certain punches, there's certain knockouts, there's certain concussions, there's certain ass whippings, there's certain beatings that are not equal to others. They're the kind of knockouts, of punches, of concussions, of ass whippings, and of beatings that change your life. They change lives. And O'Malley didn't elaborate on what that meant, but I know what he meant. I know what he meant. There is a confidence that a person has from the guy that walks down the street the most confident. He walks in the room and he's the man, and he gets to live his life feeling that way, and people will treat him that way. All the way down to the coward who walks his wife like he's weak, who handles everything sheepishly. The one thing those two guys have in common is that neither of them actually knows where they stand. Neither of them has actually tested that theory. They got all the rest of society to go.
Sean Ali, UFC bantamweight and close friend of Jake Paul, expresses blunt concern ahead of the December 19th main event in South Florida. Speaking on the Bro Ali Show, he admitted that stepping in with Anthony Joshua is frightening. Ali warns that being knocked out by a heavyweight of Joshua's caliber can have lasting consequences beyond career setbacks. He calls Jake's decision to take the fight absolutely insane, emphasizing the real danger and physical risk involved.
Performance. What if Jake makes it 5 rounds, 6 rounds? What if Jake made it to the distance? What if Jake won a round? Now, it's very hard to believe. It's very hard to imagine. I think it's the big struggle with this fight. I cannot, off the top of my head, produce a fight for you in any form of unarmed combat that drew, that was exciting, where the audience did not have a reasonable expectation, an expectation to some degree that, well, if he does this or that, there is a way for this guy to win. And that's usually pretty easy to do because nobody knows anything about fighting. Nobody watching this right now, none of you, my millions of viewers, not one of you has ever boxed. Not one of you knows someone in the family. Well, my dad was a boxer, my uncle was a boxer. No, you don't. Not only are you not a boxer, you don't even know of a boxer. Now, I only share that because when I come out and say nobody knows what they're talking about when they're talking about boxing, like, it's not meant to be an insult. You don't know anything about boxing. It was never taught to you. None of you in recess boxed. None of your junior highs, your high schools, your colleges, your community colleges offered boxing. Your hometown didn't have a boxing gym. Now really think about that. Because as much as you love the sport and as much as you think that you understand it, not only do you not understand it, you can't even have a conversation with other people who do because they don't understand it. So what is a win? I think that time counts. I think that time is a very big deal. You're in that little bitty ring, and I know a guy can run backwards, but running backwards...
Chael Sonnen presents a methodical evaluation explaining why he views the fight as overwhelmingly in Joshua's favor. He outlines height, weight, reach, power, and top-level experience as areas where Jake simply cannot compete. Sonnen acknowledges Jake's improvement, but argues that his previous opponents are nowhere near Joshua's league. From physical dynamics to psychological readiness, Sonnen sees every meaningful category pointing decisively toward Joshua. His judgment avoids emotion and relies strictly on the structural imbalance.
His reputation as an elite heavyweight. Do you understand the analogy I'm getting to, Chris?
Yeah, and I agree. And, you know, but listen, Joshua's done this already. He fought a guy that he was supposed to destroy, right? And then he went out there and he destroyed him. And he didn't play with his food. Yep. He didn't say, okay, it was Ngannou I'm talking about, obviously. Of course. Who gave Tyson Fury fits and really had everyone questioning Tyson Fury's ability because he struggled with an MMA fighter in his pro boxing debut. Anthony Joshua didn't do that. He went out there and did what we all expected Tyson Fury to do and completely wiped the floor with the guy. And if Joshua doesn't do that this fight, I agree with you, Jimmy. It's going to hurt his stock. It's going to hurt the way that people perceive him moving forward. And also, I think, honestly, and if he doesn't go out there and just lay into Jake Paul and end it in the first, if not second round, to me, it's gonna look fishy to me. It's gonna look like this was a setup. This was an exhibition. This wasn't a real fight. If this is a real fight, it should be over in 90 seconds because Anthony Joshua is a legit gold medalist, super heavyweight, crazy athlete, awesome power, and Jake Paul just isn't on that level in any way. And he's not and he's undersized. You know, Jake Paul was fighting a cruiserweight in his last fight. He was under 200 pounds. You know, Joshua is a legit 250 pounds with abs, and the guy punches with the right hand like a cannon.
The one advantage Jake Paul has had in previous fights, and we all know people who have worked with him, and they go, he's got natural power. He can hit pretty well for his size. Not elite, right? Not world championship, but he can hit pretty well for his size. Paulie.
Dave Allen offers a grounded assessment by reviewing Jake Paul's previous opponents. He notes that Jake has rarely faced anyone who applied true heavyweight pressure or output. This has allowed Jake to maintain distance and remain comfortable. Allen warns that Joshua will not provide that breathing room. Even if Joshua operates at only a fraction of the intensity he uses against top contenders, the fight could look entirely unfamiliar to Jake.
But he couldn't beat Tommy. Could he win the area lightweight title? I'm not sure. Don't know who the champion is. If I had a look, I could tell you, but I'm not sure. He then boxes Nate Diaz. So he's boxed one boxer so far, if we're keeping count, and he's beat none. Then he boxes Andre August, who I believe was a pro, and this is now at 14-3, so he's now actually a cruiserweight. Andre August, I'm not sure. Ryan Borland, 17-2. Again, I'm not sure. Well, fair play, he's beat two boxers here. Beat two boxers, what can I say? He then fights Mike Perry, who is an MMA fighter, bare knuckle boxer, he's not a glove boxer. He then fights Mike Tyson, which was an exhibition.
Barry McGuigan delivers one of the starkest warnings of the discussion. Drawing on decades around elite punchers, he stresses how drastically a fight changes when a real heavyweight lands clean. McGuigan believes many fans don't grasp the danger Jake Paul faces standing across from Joshua. His message isn't meant to belittle Jake, but to highlight the unforgiving physics of the sport. To him, this matchup carries a level of risk far beyond entertainment, reminding everyone how brutal boxing becomes when fighters with vastly different power levels share the ring.
That kind of money, they would do it. So,
Yep.
And some people are suggesting he might damage his legacy. Where do you sit with the decision of him taking that fight? And it's a professional late-round fight as well.
Yes, it's a highly dangerous fight for Jake Paul. I don't know what he's doing, unless they have done some sort of caveat or some sort of agreement that he says he's going to go easy on him, or he's not going to go flat out. But I've been tossing this up and down in my mind and trying to figure how, and under God, when he had agreed to fight someone like Tank Davis, who is several divisions below him, that's more like